Welcome to episode 87 of the 3M Fair podcast. The YouTuber who pretended to be a witch doctor. Imagine this, you're a parent and your biggest worry isn't about money or your job, it's about your child's future. You want to protect them, guide them, and make sure that they're safe. Now imagine that worry becomes an obsession, and in your desperation to fix things, you turn to someone who promises you a solution. But instead, you walk straight into a nightmare. This story takes place in a small town in Gujarat where 50-year-old Dipesh Patadia and his wife Parul were trying to deal with a very difficult situation. Their 19-year-old daughter, Utsavi, was in a relationship that they didn't approve of. No matter what they did, Utsavi would not break it off. It wasn't just frustrating for them, it was all that they could think of. And that's when they heard about a man named Naval Singh Chowda, someone rumored to be a powerful witch doctor who could fix any problem, and they decided to give it a try. They didn't realize that what they were about to do would cost them everything. Hello and welcome to the 3 a.m. Fear podcast. I'm Nikita Ferrao, mystery and thriller author. On this podcast, I talk about real crimes and real people. Due to the graphic nature of some of this content, listener discretion is advised. You can find the episode show notes on my website 3amfear.com. Let's get started. India is a land of diverse cultures, ancient traditions, and deep rooted beliefs. But sometimes these beliefs can take a wrong turn. From human sacrifices to mysterious rituals, these are the real stories that are both shocking and heartbreaking. At first, I thought of covering one case, but then as I dug deeper, I found more and more. This episode is a compilation of some of the most horrific ritual killings in India. Let's get started. Chowda, who pretended to be a witch doctor, told Dipesh and his wife Parul that their daughter was possessed by a spirit. He claimed that he could help them by performing an exorcism to get rid of the spirit. But Chowda had another plan in mind. He had just borrowed around 2 lakh rupees from the Patadia family and he did not want to return this money back. So he tricked the family into meeting him at a quiet spot near the Dudrej Canal in Surendranagar. He pretended that he was performing a ritual, and during that process, he gave them food that was poisoned. Once the Patadia family ate the food, they struggled and finally died. Chowda then pushed their bodies into the canal to cover up the crime. When the police first found the bodies of Dipesh, Parul, and their daughter Utsavi, they didn't know who they were. But after checking through, they found some documents in Dipesh's clothes that helped identify them. At first, the police thought that maybe it was an accidental death or maybe this was a suicide pact. The family wanted to die together. And that's where they stopped their investigation and the case remained unsolved for a very long time. Talking about Naval Singh Chowda, he was a man who pretended to have supernatural powers. He claimed that he could perform miracles and use this trick to harm people. But behind all this, Chowda was a cold-blooded killer. Over the years, he had confessed to killing 12 people, which included his very own family members, all because of money and convenience. Chawda's very first victim was his own grandmother in 2010. She was old and was dealing with health problems. Instead of looking after her, Chawda decided that it was too expensive, and so he poisoned her water and pretended that it was a health remedy. But he didn't stop there. In 2023, he killed his mother, Saroj Chawda, for the very same reason. She was sick and always fought with him, asked him to do household work, and it irritated him to the point that he decided he was going to do the very same thing to her that he did to his grandmother. Last year, his uncle, Sura Chawda, fell sick, and once again, Chawda did not want to spend money on treatment, and he did the same thing to him too. He poisoned his water. Chawda's crimes were not just limited to his family. His victims were spread across various parts of Gujarat, including Ahmedabad, Surendranagar, Rajkot, Wankaner, and Anjar. In Surendranagar alone, he killed 6 people, including 3 members of one family. He would use the same method. He would add sodium nitrate to water and claim that this was part of his spiritual rituals. In one case, a 62-year-old man, Qadar Ali Mukassam from Rajkot, came to Chawda because he wanted solutions for some personal issues. His wife Farida and their daughter Asif would later be found dead in their car in the forest. Initially, everyone thought that this was suicide, but later on, when Chawda was caught, they realized they were one of his victims. Now, Chawda lived a double life. He operated as a taxi driver and even had a YouTube channel where he posted videos showcasing his so-called black magic. His truth finally came out on December 1st, 2023, when he was arrested just before he was about to commit another murder. This time, he had lured a businessman with the promise of multiplying his money. But what led to his arrest is even more shocking. In 2021, Chawda ended up killing a man, and his very own brother decided that he would not stop until his brother's killer was found. Jigar, a 24-year-old man, had spent 3 years gathering evidence, convinced that Chawda was responsible for his brother Vivek's death. Vivek's death, like many others, was initially said to be a road accident. But Jigar always suspected that there was something more to the story. It wasn't just a simple accident. Even though the police had closed the case, Jigar wanted to know the truth. Determined to find this, Jigar got close to Chawda, pretending to be his friend. Over time, Chawda would go on to talk about more and more about his plans to Jigar. And that's when Jigar found out that Chawda was about to kill this businessman. He immediately contacted the police and stopped Chawda from committing another murder. When the police investigated further, they discovered that Chawda had a horrifying habit. He would force his victims to write suicide notes just before killing them. That's how he got away with multiple murders. He told them that these notes were an important part of his ritual. In fact, he would tell people that if they wrote these notes, then it would help him. He would then use these notes to cover up his crimes, and that's why the police would not find him for a very long time. Thanks to everything that Jigar did, Chawda was finally caught. On December 10, while in police custody, Chawda fell sick and was rushed to the hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival. And with this, his case ended. Although Chawda did not personally know any of his victims, the next killer definitely did. A 4-year-old girl was killed by her aunt. The story takes place in a village called Shikarpur Chaudhary in Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh. On October 26, 2024, a 4-year-old girl named Misty went missing from her home on a Saturday. Her family was worried and quickly went to the police to ask for help. She was last seen near her house before she vanished. Although at first the police couldn't find out where Misty disappeared, they always had the suspicion that her aunt Savitri had something to do with it. That is because when the police arrived at Savitri's house to ask her if she had seen Misty, she didn't let anyone come to her house. And that made them even more suspicious. They also checked the CCTV footage from the area on that day, and after searching her house, they would find Misty's body hidden near the borewell in a sack. Senior police officer Anurag Arya explained that their investigation showed that Misty was killed as a part of a black magic ritual. Savitri and Gangaram were both involved in this, and they had allegedly sacrificed this little girl as a part of their ritual. Unfortunately, no one knows why they conducted this ritual. Was it for money, fame, any sort of issues? No one knows. This case is still under investigation. As saddening as it is to hear Misty's story, she is not the only one to be murdered by a relative. The next one was even more horrifying. The Deoria horror story. This incident took place in Behra Dabar in Uttar Pradesh's Deoria district. A couple, Sheshant and his wife Savita, did something unthinkable. They had this strong belief in superstitions and black magic, and that's what led them to commit this unthinkable act. On November 27, the couple had just come back to their village from Uttarakhand to attend a family wedding. During the celebration, when everyone was busy, they took their 11-year-old niece to an empty house. They killed this poor little girl as a part of an occult ritual. They believed that using the girl's blood in a prayer ceremony would heal their sick son. They cut her throat and collected blood from her head, hands, stomach, and legs to perform the ritual. After committing this cruel act, they tried to hide what they had done by leaving her body in a maize field near the village. The next morning, on November 29, when the little girl was nowhere to be found, her family and neighbors started looking for her. They spent the whole day searching for her, and finally, when they heard the dogs barking near the park, that's when they found her body. The police were quick to start with their investigation. They worked hard to find out what had happened. And they would soon find out that Sheshnath and Savita were responsible for this crime. The police even found the weapon they had used and other items from the ritual. When the police questioned Savita, she said that she had a dream, and in that dream, she was told that if she sacrificed a girl and used the blood in prayer, then that would make her son better. Believing this, she and her husband would commit this horrible crime. When the police arrested the couple, the whole village was shocked and heartbroken. The authorities praised the police for solving the case and even gave them a reward for 50,000 rupees. The couple is now in custody and further investigations are going on. Finding out that you have to commit a murder in your dream is one sort of delusion. But what if you watch a tutorial on YouTube and decide to carry it out in real life? This next incident is exactly that. It all began on June 22nd in Ghaziabad when the police discovered a headless body of a man in the Tila Mode area. The victim was later identified as Raju Kumar, a man from Bihar. He was said to be doing small jobs in the city, and his gruesome murder shocked everyone. The police worked for weeks to find out who was behind this crime. On August 15, they arrested two men named Dhananjay and Vikas. Vikas already had a bounty of rupees 25,000 on him for a completely different crime. During questioning, these men said that their roommate Vikas and another man named Narendra were involved in the planning of this murder. The investigation uncovered a chilling story. Narendra had come in contact with two men, Pawan and Pankaj, who called themselves tantrics or black magicians. These so-called tantrics told him that if he could get a human skull and perform rituals with it, then they could earn around 50 crore rupees. Believing this, Narendra told about this plan to Vikas, and together with Dhananjay, they decided that they would kill Raju and get the skull for the ritual. The group somehow got Raju to come to their house, and that is where they killed him by slitting his throat. Afterward, they beheaded him, got his skull, and gave it to Narendra, who then passed it on to Pawan and Pankaj. Meanwhile, they dumped Raju's headless body in the Tila Mode area, hoping to hide their crime. Now, after receiving the skull, Vikas told that they couldn't use it because there was a small crack in it, and that would mean that the ritual would not work. They decided to hide the skull in the drain in Delhi. When Vikas confessed, the police went to the drain, and that's where they found the skull. When they searched Vikas's place, they also found a lot of animal skulls. The police continued the investigation and arrested all four men involved in the crime. It is believed that Vikas has been performing black magic or saying that he was performing black magic for a long time, and all the skulls that were found were proof to that. The police are still working on this case. While Vikas and all others were trying to perform black magic for their own benefit, there was one man who seemed to have performed black magic for someone else. A man who walked right inside Ahmedabad Hospital's ICU and performed black magic and cured someone. Can you believe it? That's our next case. In Ahmedabad's government civil hospital, a strange incident occurred that shocked many people. Some may agree it was for good, while some didn't. A man named Mukesh Bhuaji, who claimed to be a black magician, was caught on video performing rituals on a patient inside the ICU. The video went viral on social media, raising many questions as to how could this happen. Here is the video. Mukesh Bhuaji entered the hospital dressed in plain clothes and pretended to be a visitor. Once inside the ICU, he started performing rituals on a patient, even touching the patient's head. In the video, he claimed that the doctors in the trauma center couldn't save the patient, but his rituals somehow brought that patient back to good health. He said that the patient recovered because of his black magic. After the patient was discharged from the hospital, the family welcomed them home and even thanked him for saving their loved one. When the video went viral, it caused an uproar. Many said that this was not real, just a fluke, while others started believing that what Mukesh had done was real. Rakesh Joshi, the superintendent of civil hospital, immediately ordered an investigation. He made it clear that all of this was blind faith and that the patient recovered because the doctors were working on him. The doctors had done everything, and all that this man did was walk into the hospital and say some prayers, and somehow the patient miraculously recovered. But all the work was done by the doctors and not by this man. Rakesh Shah said that steps would be taken to make sure that this would never happen again, because all of this meant spreading more blind faith, and that more and more people would start to believe that they should not go to the doctor, they should go to tantrics, which is actually very dangerous. Joshi would go on to say, quote, "We have not come across any such instance in the past 15 odd days, but we have launched an investigation and the footage of CCTV cameras are being scanned. We will soon find out how and why this person entered the ICU." Looking at the video, I believe that the person who claims to be a Bua, that is an occult practitioner, walked into the ICU ward of the civil hospital at night through the gates of the trauma ward of the hospital. The claims made in the video that the patient was treated due to the miracle of the Bua are totally baseless and an attempt to spread superstition. People should understand that this is the effort of the doctors and not some occult practitioner if a patient admitted to the ICU recovers. End quote. This also shows that you should be very careful when you share something on social media, how it can go crazy viral and how people can start believing. And it would be very dangerous if someone else is really sick, needs to go to the hospital, or they might lose their life, and they decide that they would want to go to a tantric rather than going to an actual doctor. Although the previous case brought a sick person back to good health, the next one caused a 9-year-old boy to lose his life. The Hathras Black Magic case. It was September of 2024 in the Hathras area of Uttar Pradesh. A staff member and other students of DL Public School found a 9-year-old boy named Kritat, who was a class 2 student, unresponsive in his hostel bed. Instead of immediately calling the police, the school's manager, Dinesh Baghel, attempted to cover up this crime by taking the boy's body in his car and driving around for several hours. The hostel called up the boy's family and told them that he was sick. Worried, his family immediately rushed to school, but when they arrived, they couldn't find Kritat. Realizing that something was wrong, his father called the police and a manhunt began. Dinesh didn't get much time because he was caught within a few hours. They managed to stop him, and to their shock, they found this poor boy's lifeless body in the back seat of his car. A post-mortem report revealed that Kritat had been strangled with visible injuries on his neck. The investigation showed that this wasn't the first time that the group had tried such a crime. They had tried another human sacrifice ritual for September 6 with another boy, but that plan failed, and that is when they went to Kritat. On September 22, the accused attempted another ritual. They tried to take the boy near a tube well behind the school. When the boy woke up while being taken there, the suspects panicked and strangled him inside the school. The police arrested 5 people in this crime: Ram Prakash from Sadabad, Dinesh Baghel, the school manager, Jashodan, Dinesh's father, Lakshman Singh from Mathura district, Veerpal from Banka Mursan village. The police revealed that Kritat was killed as part of a black magic ritual which was allegedly intended to bring success and fame to the school. It was said that Kritat was murdered by Jashodhan, also known as Bhagat, the father of the school's manager Dinesh Baghel. Jashodhan believed in black magic and thought that sacrificing a child would bring in success to the school. On the day of the crime, Kritat was taken and killed as a part of the dark magic ritual. After questioning, the police arrested Dinesh, his father, and 3 other people. DL Public School has around 600 students, and the hostel where the boy was killed houses students from classes 1 to 5. Kritar's father, Krishnan, who works as a software engineer in Delhi, expressed grief and said, quote, I received a call from my son's school saying, your child's condition is very serious. Please come immediately. While I was on my way, they called again and said, the child's condition has worsened and we are taking him to Sadabad. We followed them towards Agra, but they didn't stop the car. When we returned, we caught up with them in Sadabad, where we found the child's body in the car. The incident has sparked outrage, calling out to all the people, asking them why. These are just some of the recent cases. There are so many more that I couldn't fit them in one episode. So you can imagine how many dark ritual murders are taking place in India. How many blind faith cases are there in our country. I tried to dig deep into each of these cases, but unfortunately the information that I provided you is the only information that I could find online. The news coverage is just limited to this, which ends with investigation is still going on. I would like to know from you, what do you think about this? And also, it is very important that we try to put a stop to blind faith, especially when it comes to someone's life. No success, no happiness, no money, no power can be achieved by taking someone's life. A big thank you to all my fellow listeners who have been listening and supporting this episode. Your reviews, your listens mean a lot. If you love this episode, if you love the stories that I put out, then please do leave a rating on whichever podcasting platform you're listening from. It would really mean the world to me. Other than this, I also have a YouTube and an Instagram page. I'll link it in the description. Do check it out. I have different stories on Instagram, and I'm planning to put out some short horror stories on YouTube, so do subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned. I am also an author, love fiction stories. If you want to check out my free fiction book, I'll link it in the description. I'll also link my other account in the description, where I talk about fiction writing, travel, and I also will soon start sharing fiction stories. So stay tuned. So do follow me there. Thank you so much for everything. That's all for this week. Stay kind, stay safe, and see you next week.